crystal ball said Georgia. The commitment, though, said Miami. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the Canes. And we got the Wholesome One on the line. Please join him on his YouTube channel right here at A2LSUM and the number one. Wholesome One, how you doing today?
It's a great day. It's always a great day to be a Cane, but being able to grab James Williams, wow, 5-star athlete to the U, man, we're excited to see what we can do with the young man. But yesterday I was a lot more like, today I'm kind of been able to absorb it and accept it. And an athlete like that, you just want him on the field, man. I can't wait to see if he can sign with us and we can solidify it.
So just to run down the metrics before we get to the Wholesome One's analysis, again, it's James Williams out of American Heritage High School, number one athlete in the country by all the recruiting services, taking this straight from the 247 Sports Composite, number one rated player in the state of Florida. We know how much weight that carries. And the 9th rated player, 3rd ranked player. What's it matter? He's a top 10 player in America, regardless of position at that athlete position, which we typically, as an offensive player, usually relate to a wide receiver, typically going to be a wide receiver if they're an offensive player. This guy's a defensive specialist. They could play, just get him on the field somewhere. Again, just to run down the impact that he's most likely going to bring on this defense and where you project him, Wholesome One.
For me, I would love to see him at striker. I think he fits our striker position, which is what, the 4-2-5, that buck linebacker, your Troy Polamalu, your Isaiah Simmons type of position. I mean, at 6'5", 220 plus already, I think he's going to get in a Division I strength and conditioning program and be well over 227, 230 within a year in the program. But he's made it known that he was going to go to a school that's going to allow him to play safety. He's recruited as a safety. He's going to come here and either prove to us that he can or can't do it. But a guy like that, just have him put on your uniform and run out of the smoke and we'll figure it out. He's one of the best players in the country. Mark, it's mind-blowing. At 6 and 7, we're in play for guys like this. I mean, it just doesn't. Not that it doesn't make any sense, but football-wise, it blows your mind. You would expect him to go to Georgia with no question, just like everyone else did with their crystal balls. But he came and he loved it, and he built a great relationship with Coach Manny Diaz and Coach Efren Banda, Coach DeMarcus Van Dyke, a former Miami Hurricanes football player as of late, and they were able to will him in.
And that's where the location pays off, because you still have to make a great sell to get him past the Alabamas and Georgias to keep him at home. But it's another thing if you're sitting in Nebraska or Iowa or somewhere else and you're losing 6 games a year and then you're trying to rebuild it and thinking, man, we got to pull players from elsewhere. At least you've got them right there. You just have to convince the young man, hey, this is the tradition. This is the heritage, not to pardon the pun there, that we have here in Miami. So stay here. We're going to rebuild it, redo it, and it's going to be just as good as it was. And you can be one of those foundational blocks.
Oh, yeah. And like I say, you produce, you recruit, you produce, and then they end up going to the NFL. One of those positions has been safety for us. We've done very well, have some pretty good safeties as of late. And we're reaping the benefits of said thing. But, I mean, if your head coach is the primary recruiter in something, that means you're all in on that guy. In his interview and him explaining why he committed to Miami, he talked about co-defensive coordinator, Coach Efren Banda, who was hugely responsible for bringing in Avante Williams, number 1 and number 2 safety, just 8 months ago. And also our head coach, Coach Manny Diaz, man. And one thing we can say, he's an off-season head coach. He makes you extremely excited with what's going on in the off-season. You just got to put it together in the fall. And one of the biggest things you can do to help that is to up the players that you put on the field. If you go out there with the best 11 in the country, even some above-average coaches look really, really good, Larry Coker, if you have some of the greatest players on the football field. This is just exciting. If you would have
and I know, Wholesome One, that your excitement is pretty much threefold as I read it. Obviously, this player, his impact on the football field, just him. If it only amounts to getting one of the best safeties or strikers in the country, and that's the impact, then man, that's amazing to get a great football player who hopefully reaches his potential. But just the juice, the energy, the vibe that you get from hauling in somebody like that, and the spring in the step that it gives the rest of the program, the coaching staff, that we can go out and get more of these guys, the confidence level. And then step number 3 in this is obviously the impact that it has on other recruits, that suddenly I wasn't really taking Miami seriously. Oh, one of the best players in the country just committed to Miami. Maybe I need to give them another look. Maybe I do need to stay at home, or maybe I need to relocate, because there's something that has to be going on there at the U.
Oh, it's something brewing. It's something brewing. And like I say, at the end of the day, we have to go win football games. You got to handle things. Once we get him on campus, we got to be able to develop him, put him in the right situation. I mean, could you imagine 6'5", 225 coming down from strong safety in a cover 3? I mean, and you're running an out route, and you're that wide receiver turning around, you catch the ball, and you turn back around, and this dude is humming down on you. It can be pretty intimidating, man. And I'm not comparing him to Sean Taylor. I'm not comparing him to any other big safety. I want him to be the best James Williams that he can be. And I think that's something that not only the Miami Hurricanes fan base has a problem with, but you can't help it, man. You know, you go get a big safety. Just years ago with Derwin James, man, everybody was comparing him to Sean Taylor just because he was 6'3" also. And the young man is a very good football player, but we want to leave that type of stuff. Sean Taylor, Sean Taylor. Cam Chancellor, Cam Chancellor. Let these people be those people. And James Williams is just a guy that you want him on your squad. You just want him on your squad. A guy like that, he sent shockwaves through Twitter yesterday, like broke the internet. Everybody's like, what's going on? I mean, yesterday, if you were to watch it on my channel, I was at work. And magically, they were just like, Holloway, you want to go on break? Absolutely. I'll go on break. I sit down and my phone is going crazy. So I hopped on live in uniform, just talking about it and trying to explain to people that I was in shock, but there's always a chance when you're in the top 2 for a player. And, what's going on nationally, a lot of the local guys, we're kind of reaping the benefit. I'm not saying anything about that disease. I'm just saying we're reaping the benefits of these young men being home for the last 3 or 4 months, and all they're hearing is home, home, home every day. And then the coaches are putting it on them, make the crib great again. Come here, and why not play in front of your family? Why not do things here that you would do in Tuscaloosa, that you would do in Athens, Georgia, that you would do in Gainesville? Why not just do it at Miami? We'll help you be great also. And the return on investment goes both ways. And it worked.
So the 2021, 2022, and 2023 Miami defense features James Williams, most likely either a safety or striker. And maybe, like we just discussed, maybe this gives Jalen Marshall just a little nudge in your direction.
Come on down. Let's just come on over. I mean, Palmetto and Coral Gables are right next to each other. So why not swing on over? I mean, and play with other guys, not just him. You have Leonard Taylor. We talked about that. We made his top 2 with Florida. Now, I'm not saying that he's 100%, but you never know. You go out and get a top 3 athlete, or number 1 athlete in the country. You go get a top 3 defensive tackle, and then you go get a top 3 corner. And you're in play for some pretty big things. And if we can get the developmental side of things going, oh, man. It's like I said, it's one thing to get them to commit. The other thing is to have them put pen to paper. And like I always say on my channel, I don't 100% believe it until I see them run out of the smoke at Hard Rock Stadium. Not in practice, not on National Sunday. I need you to run out of the smoke. I need to see you in the uniform. And okay, easy K. No problem. Because, man, I've seen guys commit. I've seen guys decommit. I've seen guys sign and not even make it into the school. And I'm not trying to put any of that pressure on James Williams. That just goes for any prospect, period. I think he's going to be a Cane. According to his Instagram yesterday, he said he's going to shut it down. This is it. He wants to be a Miami Hurricane, and he's accepted being a Miami Hurricane. And someone who wants to sign in December, if the ability is there to commit and then sign early in December, he wants to be able to do it. So that also kind of plays with if we have a season or some sort of season. If not, I think they probably would just push it all back to February and just have regular National Signing Day just be for everybody. But if there is a December, he said he will sign in early enroll at Miami.
Big news at the U. James Williams commits to the Canes. Wholesome One joining us to break down the commitment. And, of course, you got to catch him on his YouTube channel. It's HOLSUM and the number 1. There you go, the Wholesome One. Please check out his insight on Miami football over on his YouTube channel. Wholesome One, we appreciate you making the time as always, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Go Canes.